Hi and welcome to another special report on the 5 key reasons why the subjunctive is making your life miserable and how you can turn the tables in just 30 days. Special report number 3. The high price of cheap information. And the main problem that students face when they have to understand the subjunctive is usually wrong, incomplete or misleading information. This goes hand in hand with half-truth, which can be as devastating as lies. And probably you heard this one over and over again when you studied the subjunctive. Probably your teacher or a book or some notes that you found on the internet told you that whenever we have to express wishes, emotions or doubt, we must use the subjunctive. However, as we'll see, this is not always the case. Let's see this in action. Let's take this sentence. Quiero que mi hermano viva cerca de mi casa. I want my brother to live near my house. Quiero is a verb that expresses wishes, and viva is in the subjunctive. So it seems that the rule applies.
Yeah!
But let's take a look at this second sentence. Quiero a mi hermano que vive cerca de mi casa. I love my brother who lives near my house. In this case, quiero is not expressing wishing, but actually emotion. But again, as your teacher says, whenever we have to express wishes, emotions or doubt, we must use the subjunctive. So well, emotion is contemplated here. However, we can see that the verb is now in the indicative. What's wrong here? What's going on? And usually when the student comes face to face with this, they start to think that there are exceptions. There's emotion, but we cannot use the subjunctive. Definitely this has to be an exception. And the teacher keeps saying, whenever we express wishes, emotions and doubt, we must use the subjunctive. So we take a sentence like, Vamos a ir a la fiesta cuando lleguen los niños. In this case we can see that, well, cuando lleguen los niños, I don't know if the kids will be here soon or not, if they will actually arrive. We assume that's the case. But well, this is definitely expressing doubt. Well, the rule seems to be working.
Yeah!
That's great. Now let's have a look at this sentence. Vamos a ir a la fiesta si llegan temprano los niños. And in this case, si llegan temprano is definitely expressing doubt. It's similar to what we said before. However, we can see that in this case, llegan is not in the subjunctive, it's in the indicative. But what's going on here? There's definitely doubt. The teacher said that, well, whenever there is doubt, we must use the subjunctive, but we can see here that this is not the case. And the student will think, well, this must be another exception. But the teacher and her grammar book keep repeating, whenever we express wishes, emotions and doubt, we must use the subjunctive. And then the student comes across a sentence like this. Tal vez llueva esta noche. It may rain tonight. Well, it may rain, doubt, and the rule applies again. We have doubt, we are using the subjunctive. The rule checks out. The student is happy.
Yeah!
But later, the student hears a native speaker say, A lo mejor llueve esta noche, which basically means the same as the previous sentence. It may rain tonight. This is clearly expressing doubt. It may rain tonight. It might rain tonight. However, the verb is not in the subjunctive. Actually, it's in the indicative. And this is when the students begin to lose their sanity. They see some situations in which there is doubt, but in some cases you use the subjunctive, but in many cases you don't. They begin to think they are exceptions, and they find this kind of ambiguity everywhere. Sometimes there's wishes and the verb is in the subjunctive, but sometimes the verbs are not in the subjunctive. The same happens with emotions, requests, and so on. What's going on? It's exactly like here, exactly the same meaning, but one sentence uses the subjunctive and the other one doesn't. And the problem that most students face at this stage is that there seem to be more exceptions than rules. You're told half of the truth. Well, actually, not even half. You're just told 1/4 of the truth. You have an incomplete picture of the subjunctive. All your decisions are made based on just a tiny portion of the truth. So you might be lucky and guess the right answer at best, or you will be totally wrong, and even worse, you won't even know why. And let me break this to you. Unless you can see the big picture, you will never be able to use the subjunctive correctly. And to add insult to injury, unless you master the subjunctive, you will always sound like Tarzan whenever you speak Spanish. And it all boils down to this. You've been paying the high price of cheap information. Now, I also have good news for you, actually great. There are no more exceptions than rules. Once you see the big picture, recognizing and knowing when to use the Spanish subjunctive is mathematical. It's as predictable as saying that 1 + 1 is 2. Although it's a complex topic, with the right information and systematic work, anyone can master the Spanish subjunctive.
Yeah!
And let me show you just one out of a few concepts that you need to know to understand the Spanish subjunctive. And sadly, you probably have never even heard about it. Key concept number 1, clauses. And you may be wondering, what's a clause? A clause is a group of words with a subject and a verb. For instance, nosotros esperamos que ellos aprendan esto.